WFAA has obtained new court documents revealing how Austin Metcalf was stabbed to death at a track meet in Frisco. Police say another teenager had fresh blood on his finger when they found him at Kirkendall Stadium.
The affidavit shows that when officers arrived, Karmelo Anthony told them he got into an argument with Metcalf, and when the arresting officer said he had the alleged suspect in custody, Anthony replied, "I'm not alleged, I did it."
But Anthony told officers he only acted in self-defense and asked them if Metcalf was okay.
Several witnesses paint a different picture, and Metcalf's father told Matt Howerton he is not buying the excuse.
I had a dream last night, and Austin came to me and said, "I'm okay." It gives me peace. Doesn't mean I don't hurt.
The last 24 hours, unimaginable for Austin Metcalf's father, his mother, his twin brother.
Right now, I'm really numb, and I really don't feel anything. I just have to function.
Metcalf, just 17 when he arrived at Frisco ISD's district track meet Wednesday. His final breaths taken before 11 a.m., police say, after being stabbed to death by a fellow Frisco ISD student, 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony, now charged with first-degree murder.
My world's a little shattered.
An argument over where Anthony was sitting while the meet experienced a rain delay sparked a confrontation between the teen and Metcalf, according to arrest paperwork. Anthony sitting underneath Metcalf's team tent. You could see it from the air when we flew over the crime scene. Metcalf from Memorial High, Anthony from Centennial. A witness telling police Metcalf told Anthony to move from under the team's tent because he didn't go to their school. The witness telling police Anthony grabbed his bag, opened it, and reached inside and proceeded to tell Austin, "Touch me and see what happens." Investigators writing that Metcalf grabbed Anthony to tell him to move and that Anthony pulled out a black knife and stabbed Austin once in the chest and then ran away. When officers arrived, the knife was found and police say Anthony admitted to what happened, but said this to police: "He put his hands on me. I was protecting myself," even asking another officer if what happened could be considered self-defense.
What do you expect? If you're caught, the best thing you're gonna do is try to lie your way out of it.
Metcalf's father telling me self-defense is not a reasonable excuse.
The truth will come out. There were too many people that were there that saw what happened. My own son told me.
In Frisco, I'm Matt Howerton.
Welcome back. I know it's been almost 2 months, but I've been very busy. So I want to jump back into it, talking about stories that really are just indicative of the place that we are in this country. This is a fresh case, and I'll talk about a few other cases after this one. It is the case involving Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf. So the two of them were on track teams from different schools. There was an incident. So I personally have been reading articles. I have been listening to interviews, and I have been waiting a little bit, and now a lot more information is coming out. And it seems the brother to Austin Metcalf, who is the one who was taken out, he has been, what they say, singing like a canary. He has told the initial story to the police, and his story keeps changing. He's told about 3 different stories with 3 different details about the story. And at this point in time, in this country how things are going. So you have the race is split. You have Black people who see this for what it is, and they are being reasonable, because I've seen people saying, oh, they want to wait until more information comes out, and they want to see all of the evidence that comes out, and they will just follow this until we see what happens. We do know the racial history of this country, how it is embedded in every system, especially the judicial system. The people do not feel like he will get a fair trial, especially in Texas. But this is turning into a stand your ground situation. The initial accounting of this is that this gifted, talented athlete with a 4.0 GPA, etc., good kid, he basically went up to him, Karmelo, and told him that he couldn't be under the school tent. And he basically stabbed him for no reason because he was mad and he was told to leave. Anybody who would hear that explanation of it, you're a fool if you believe that, because there's surely more detail than that. it was surely video around, and we haven't seen video as of yet. So the father is running his mouth, and he is saying that, he forgives Karmelo, and, he's lying on his son. His son was the perfect angel. And I looked at a few of these articles, and here, they have raised $250,000 for some type of charity thing for him. Metcalf has several GoFundMes. The parents are making a killing. They have made, to this point, close to $500,000. One was 250, another was over 100,000. So people have been donating because this good kid ended up losing his life because he just approached someone and said, could you move because you shouldn't be here. So basically, him and his twin brother approached Karmelo because Austin died in his brother Hunter's arms, which is what was told. So this makes him look like he's the biggest athlete and everything else. And at one point, his brother recalled Hunter. He recalled this happening in 30 seconds, under 30 seconds. It was really quick. He didn't know why this happened. And then there was more detailed account from his brother Hunter, which would have went over the under 30 seconds. So what they're doing, they are holding Karmelo Anthony in the Collin County Jail, and his bail is $1 million. And they have charged him with murder, which does not make sense after the account that he gave the police officers, where he asked if he was okay when he did not premeditate it. Because murder, you have to premeditate it, set it all up. You have to be the one who plans it all out and commits the crime, and you have to have planned it out, had time to think about it, and not be in immediate danger. I think when they did that, they messed up because they overcharged and they just went with this narrative. And to me, looking at the father and the sons, they look like your typical bully, racist Texas family. There is no need for the Metcalf family to be asking for GoFundMe money. They don't live in a poor, or even, I don't think it's lower middle class area. So they are making bank off of the death of their son. Karmelo Anthony's father told the Post that he's a good kid. He did not start that fight. He was not the aggressor. He works 2 jobs and is an A student and has a 3.7 GPA. Everyone is making assumptions by pulling up these pictures now. There are pictures of Karmelo Anthony, and they are trying to paint this picture like they did Trayvon Martin, that he's a thug, he has guns, he's out there in the streets, basically is how they're painting them. And then they're painting Metcalf as this nice kid who was a star athlete, even though there's pictures of him with guns and killing animals and dead carcasses and things like that. What really bothered me about this whole thing is the Sun, the U.S. Sun, an article that they made. I'm not surprised because I clicked on Chris Bradford, who is the acting assistant editor, and looking at him, I understand why he did what he did. Now, he said, athlete tragedy, disturbing motive in teen Austin Metcalf's murder. They're calling this a murder. Shouldn't he say alleged? Can he be held accountable if this is found out not to be that? Reveals that he was stabbed in the heart at high school track meet. And this is just another video of his father BSing. I can see it because normally in these cases, there's no forgiveness. There is, they could care less about the person, but he just offers up forgiveness off the bat because there were alleged claims that Austin bullied Karmelo previously before this incident. And basically, they're trying to paint this picture in it's like they're rushing to get the story out and to get their side of it out, that they are tripping over themselves. And I am so glad that Karmelo Anthony's parents and family is not saying anything and allowing this to play out the way it is with the Metcalf family, because everything they say can be used in court and in the case. With everything that's being said from Hunter, how his story has changed, this is not going to be good for them. Now, the father is saying that, it was over something so small, so trivial, him walking up to him, telling him to move. So they paint the scene. He was angry at him, he was raging, and he just took his life because it was a Tuesday. And the rhetoric and the verbiage in this article is absolutely disgusting. And it came from this person right here. This is Chris Bradford, acting assistant editor at the U.S. Sun from London, England. He should not work there, just based on the sickening verbiage in that article. Even more disturbing is the fact that this situation has brought to light the feeling of this whole entire nation. Now, when someone like Kyle Rittenhouse took his ass out of his home, drove to the next town over with a weapon in hand, saying he was going to protect property, and he shot and killed, and they let him off, saying it was self-defense. Zimmerman, he claimed that he was a part of Neighborhood Watch, and he saw someone who wasn't supposed to be in the neighborhood. The police officers told him to stay his dusty ass in the car, do not pursue this person, but he did it anyway. And he followed someone in the dark who was doing nothing. They walked to go get them a treat and then came back. And he ended up getting his ass beat. And because he was getting his ass beat rightfully, because he had no business following, nor trying to ask him questions, nor trying to put his hands on him, that's when he shot Trayvon Martin. And he got off for self-defense. Now you have the same thing come up because more and more of the story is coming out. This is what's out there, and this is what's being alleged. That Karmelo, he was at the track meets, and Metcalf, Austin, he was at the track meet. They have different tents. Now, some people say that a lot of rivalry, if they have some rivalry, they won't, go to the other people's tent. But there are some who are saying, more people are saying that at the track meets, they go from tent to tent, talking to people. They may have friends, they may know other people, they may hang out with other people. I'm inclined to believe that it was being delayed because it was raining. A lot of people jump to a lot of conclusions real quick, but it was raining. He went to go stand under the tent, and there was a live, TikTok live, where there was this girl who was making up all these excuses. In the end, she was basically saying that Black people shouldn't go to their schools, we should be separated. I personally am not mad at that, but when she was getting caught up in trying to defend Austin. So basically he was standing under the tent. It happened to be where Austin and Hunter, they went to school, but he was standing under there. It's raining. He can get out of the rain if he wants to. So if he's sitting there with his stuff in his bag, it's pouring down rain, he's waiting for it to be over. They decide to be their bullying selves because there is an alleged video out there saying that they bullied people at school, that they walked over there and they told him to move and he couldn't be under the tent. When you first initially hear that, the first thing in your adult mind would be, why is someone who's on the track team telling someone else who was on the track team that they shouldn't be there? And the girl on the TikTok live tried to say that, their stuff was there, and tried to paint Karmelo as if he would steal something. We have valuables, is what she said. But he told him to move. He wasn't going to move. He didn't have to move. Why did he come up to him in the first place? He never said that, he saw him taking anything, trying to steal anything, or touching anybody's belongings. I would have thought if he saw that, he would go to the coach. He would go get an adult and say what he saw and get him in trouble. But no, he decided to be his bullying self, Billy Badass, and go over there, and he was going to pick on him. And even more, his brother came to, Hunter. So these two big burly bullies come up to Karmelo and try and make him leave. Who in the F are they to tell anybody what they should be doing and shouldn't be doing? If you felt that strong, why didn't you go to the coach and tell the coach, well, he's underneath the tent, he shouldn't be there? What made him think that he could take this into his own hands? It's a learned behavior. His parents instilled it in him. So I'm sure they were threatening and menacing him. And he said out of his mouth, touch me and see what happens. So Austin proceeded to touch him, and he saw what happened. Because him coming up to a random person saying, you don't go to our school, you need to move. Who are you? Who are you to go from where? Who are you to even approach him? Maybe he heard that you like to bully people at school. Maybe he heard about your reputation. Maybe he knows someone who you've bullied or done something to. So why would he be nice to you? And who do you think you are, walking up to a person, telling them what they need to do and what not to do. There should be chaperones or coaches or adults that handle certain situations. What gave him the audacity to even walk up to him to say anything, especially if he was trying to get out of the rain? And basically he was trying to make it a point, well, you're going to get out of here even if it's raining. Who the hell does he think he is? So basically tried to grab him, grab his book bag, grab his personal items. That's stealing. That's assault. You don't have the right to take somebody's property. You don't have the right to put your hands on them as if you're going to move them because they didn't move when you said move. Who are you? Again. So he put his hands on his property. If he was willing to go that far as to walk up to him, a complete stranger, his brother said, they didn't know each other, and this complete stranger is coming up to you, menacing, aggressive, telling you you need to move because I said so. You don't know what this person has on their persons. You don't know what weapon. You don't know if this person is going to punch you in the face. You don't know what they're doing. You just know that they're approaching you aggressively. So at this point, it's fight or flight. And depending on the raining, what he's going to run up the steps of where the tents were, slip and fall and bust his head wide open. So he decided to fight. And like I said, this dude is tall. He is big. So him snatching the book bag, pulling him, and to think that Karmelo doesn't have the right to defend himself? Because look at these comments here. This person is trying to make light of it that he saw a person in the wrong seat at the movie theater and he asked them to move and the person apologized and moved and nobody got stabbed. But had you walked up to that person and told that person in an aggressive way too, let's say you walked up to somebody's wife and did that, you're in the wrong seat, get out of here, you don't belong here. And the dude snatched her purse, and you think that I'm not going to believe that you're going to get up and put hands on that person? Get the fuck out of here. And this person says, you don't take a knife to attract meat. I have my personal self-defense weapons, and I take them everywhere I go. And there were questions posed, like what if he was walking and he didn't feel safe? As many school shootings, as many situations that happen randomly. If you're smart, you're going to have protection on you at all times. So basically, they're trying to grasp for straws. They keep saying he brought the knife to the track meet. So what they're trying to do is they're saying this thing over and over and over and over. So it will go in your mind that he specifically picked up that knife. It was a pocket knife, mind you. He picked it up, took it to the track meet just to do this. Does that not sound familiar? It was kind of like the cop who shot Sonia Massey and said that, the situation was strange. She said that she saw something. And then he said out of his mouth that he felt like that she made this whole thing up so she could have a pot of boiling water on the stove and throw it on him. Same exact thing. They're saying he specifically brought the knife there. And it was premeditated. And, they will lie through their teeth for their own. And the point is, whenever I change my purses, everything that's in that purse, and I've had my little backpack, I dump it in there. Everything is going. So if you are taking weapons for self-defense, one would think you would have it on you at all times. So that debunks that BS. And that's the same thing. Look, they're calling him a wild animal. They are calling names, being racist. But yet, as we find out more and more, the impulsive, uncontrolled animal was Austin. How dare you put your hands on somebody's property and on them? And if you grab my property or grab me, I'll put you 6 feet under. You see nothing but colorless people lamenting this bully. It shows you they feel they have the right to walk up to a random black person and say anything and do anything they want to, and you are not to retaliate back or defend yourself. So basically what they're saying, because they're always screaming self-defense in so many other cases. With this one, 2 big bullies walked up to him, grabbed his personal items, his book bag, his stuff. That's his stuff. Put their hands on him. According to the brother, he started it. Austin started it. He put his hands on him. And after grabbing that boy's belongings, items, and putting his hands on someone, now you're trying to lament that somebody stood their ground, saying, if you're black, this is not for you. This law is not for you. If you're black, and even if, let's say you're just standing there enjoying an ice cream cone, if you are black and I take your stuff or punch you in the throat or I lay my hands on you, I have every right to do that, and you should not retaliate. You, even if I was reaching in my pocket to get a weapon, to cross your fingers and hope that I calm down enough not to use it, is basically how this is coming across. So this is why I have always told you, keep a weapon on you at all times. If somebody puts their hands on you, use it. Because no matter what, they are always going to try and find a loophole to take up for their own and throw you under the bus, no matter what you do. You could be, we remember when a man, and I'm sorry, his name is escaping me, but he basically told the police officer that he carries a weapon. He told him, as he was told to do, I have a weapon, I carry it on me. He was licensed to carry it, and he got killed. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And if somebody is aggressing you, or several somebodies, you have every right to defend yourself, because they're showing how they act. They have no humanity for you. They have no justice for you. They have no care for you. They sit up here and they have these laws and they find themselves not guilty, when if it's turned around and it's placed on you with your skin, you are guilty. They will make it up. You can be not guilty. They will find you guilty. Your skin is what makes you guilty. But they are trying to paint Karmelo as if he's this thug, as if he's aggressive and he came out of nowhere. But I say, I know it's hard for the family and probably even Karmelo not to say anything, but they need to keep their mouth shut, don't say anything, and let these people throw themselves under the bus. Because people are asking questions about the continuously changing story. The information was not put out that Karmelo was not the aggressor. Because if this was reversed, and this was a little blonde hair, blue-eyed boy, and it was raining and he ran underneath a tent that wasn't for his team, and let's say two big melanated dudes on the football team, they came over and told him to get his scrawny self, from underneath the tent, you're not a part of this, all of that, and say one of them grabbed his water bottle, they would have said the boy was justified in whatever he did. Because the boys were being aggressive towards him. He didn't know what they were going to do. If he hit him, what would have happened? But I hope this opens your eyes to see the rottenness of this nation and the rottenness of these people. But in the next part that I'm going to do, because I'm looking at everything, I'm looking at all the videos, I am listening to everything, and I'm going to be watching this case and everything that unfolds. But personally, this is self-defense to me. Because as a woman, I'm sitting here thinking about situations that I've been in that I have been uncomfortable with. And one time I got caught slipping without a weapon, and I thought it was okay for the day. I was like, oh, well, and then I ended up being asked to stay late. It was nighttime. There was a gentleman who walked me to the bus stop. I caught the bus, was on my way home, thought I was scot-free. Me and another person was on the bus. They were walking behind me. They easily, as a man, could have taken me over. I was a teenager. There were no lights. There were bushes everywhere. And if I screamed, people probably wouldn't have been able to hear me. The only thing I could do was grab my keys and put the keys between my finger. If he tried something, I would try and scratch his eyes out. So I know how it is to be in the night, in the pitch black, could be dragged off into some bushes by somebody stronger than you. The person didn't say anything, do anything, but I felt that my life was in danger depending on the temperament of this person. So imagine being followed by two big dudes, or having them come up to you and snatch something from you. I'm not even going to think about assess the situation. No, you're done. You've come up to me aggressive and you could hurt me. I don't know what extent you're going to go. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be tied up in the back of a truck because I'm trying to weigh a situation. I'm sorry. And to talk about why does he have a pocket knife? Because maybe everywhere he goes, he wants to make sure he's safe. That's one. Two, has there not been a bunch of school shootings? Was there not a whole town hall with children talking about how they don't feel safe in school? We're not the Brits talking about you need to worry about all of the kids shooting up the kids in the school. It's because he's black. The rules don't apply because he's black.